Hey everybody, this is Curtis Childs for the 2018 Wisdom of the Near-Death Experience Symposium in Austin, Texas, and I'm really excited to be here talking to Jody Long. She's a researcher and webmaster of the largest near-death experience website in the world. It receives over 500,000 hits a month with a global readership in many different languages. She's also the webmaster for adcrf.org and oberf.org, but the website I mentioned before is nderf.org. Jody, thanks so much for taking some time to talk.
Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate you doing this because it's really a big job. It's kind of like herding cats, trying to get everybody together and let our potential people who are coming to the conference. It's nice that you're doing this.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I love just getting to hear a little bit because there's all these fascinating angles on the work around near-death experiences. And so I'm excited to hear yours. Would you just start by telling us a little bit about those websites that I mentioned and what do they do?
Okay, the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation is basically studying near-death experiences and related experiences. For instance, Jeff does the scientific part of it. He wrote the evidence of the afterlife. And so that's kind of the basis. We collect data and then we analyze it. And then we do two things. One thing is he shares the science with the world and I share the experiences with the world. So one way or another, they'll connect either through experience or through science. And then everybody has a better understanding of consciousness.
Absolutely. And those being sort of the two key ways in which we experience the world. You know, what the direct is personal experience and then gathering data. So I love the idea of you bringing those together. And so what were the other two websites that you work on?
The other one is an after-death communication website. So that's another type of consciousness where a person's beloveds will come back to them and they'll speak to them after they've died. And then we have another aspect, which is everything that's not a near-death experience or an after-death communication. And that website takes care of things like the power of prayer, spiritually transformative events, out-of-body experiences, spontaneous out-of-body experiences, dreams, lucid dreams, all kinds of things that are part of our consciousness, depending on what level the consciousness is operating at.
Yeah, and those are such wonderful things to be researching into. And obviously, I'm really grateful for the work you, your husband, and everyone else involved in those sites is doing, because I like most people, I would think, are fascinated to learn what is going on there and what can that teach us about ourselves and about reality. And I'm excited to get to hear you at the conference this year. So would you just say a little bit about what you hope to talk about there?
I'm going to talk about living like an immortal. And the reason being is I think that right now people are so afraid, the myth of death, you know, it really is a myth. And so if we live our lives like we are truly immortal beings, we're going to make different choices. We're going to be more loving. We're going to be more forgiving of each other. It'll be a much nicer place to live in if we live with the idea in mind and make those choices according to the idea that we're immortal. You know, not that we just die and are buried in the ground. I mean, obviously, those people will make different choices than people who believe that they need to be accountable for their actions. And if not in this lifetime, then they'll come around in another lifetime. So we just make different choices. And if we can wake people up to make the proper choices now, we can actually start changing the world into a much better place.
Beautiful. And yeah, amazing to think about sort of the ripple effects in someone's life once they've grabbed onto a tenet like you're talking about, that there's more going on than just this simple life that we have here. So I'm really excited to get a chance to hear you there. And everybody, if you want to learn more about the conference, to hear Jody's talk, my talk, everyone's material that they're going to be bringing, check out neardeathwisdom.com. And we hope to see you there. Jody, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.